It's the worst soundtracks in Smash Ultimate for each franchise. We've already covered the very best and it turned out to be way too long, so we're gonna speed things right up. Do be aware we're judging tracks by how good they are with Smash gameplay, so they may still be good songs on their own, and hey, it's just my opinion anyway. Right, let's go. Going in reverse order to our best songs video, so starting off, Donkey Kong, since I completely forgot about him last time. Oops. 25 meters just does not fit Smash. It's boring, empty, and yeah, it's retro, but has nothing to it. The Donkey Kong Country Returns track is similarly quiet, slow, and just too calm. Unfitting for fighting gameplay. And Funky's Fuge comes in third, having a nice beat that only really has a cool little backing bit. It's quite generic and gimmicky for Smash. Also, the top song, since I missed it, are Gangplank Galleon's new remix, because, I mean, come on. Gear Getaway remix for its energetic, loud and proud approach, and the jungle level in jazz style for working so fantastically in Smash, if not a tad too loud and in your ears. Next up, Persona 5, and we don't know the tracks yet, but I bet if they ported over the original version of Beneath the Mask, it'll be pretty unappealing actually. Hopefully we'll get a funky upfront remix. Wii Fit has some great tracks! You know what's not? Yoga. It only works ironically. Rhythm boxing is similarly bad. It's a bit too on the nose. Pikmin music sucks. Environmental Noises doesn't even have a melody. The original main theme is also pretty uninteresting and horrid directly in Smash. And same can be said for Garden of Hope and Forest of Hope. They just don't work in a fighting game. Animal Crossing isn't actually as terrible as the last few series. KK Gumbo is in last place. The vocals are a tad odd, slow and unfitting. DJ KK has a nice start, but still it's a little too slow and empty for Smash. And the House Preview new remix from Happy Home Designer is a good time, but a tad jarring for Smash. Mother is emotional and happy. Porky's theme remix is slow and dramatic. Good in a vacuum or a boss fight, less so for a Smash map. The Snowman remix is beautiful, but unfitting. It's too ambient. And Magicant's old remix has a similar fate. Pac-Man and Namco have great songs. The Libble Rabble Retro Medley is the least great. It's fun, but it sounds really gimmicky and situational and ouch, almost a little screechy. Sky Kid's Retro Medley similarly sounds like a minigame, though also too gimmicky to be fitting. The Yokai Dochuki Retro Medley is some weird sounding acid trip. It's very gimmicky for Smash. Great for the Magicant stage though. Yoshi's new remix of the main theme of Yoshi's New Island is nice, but it slows down and again just doesn't fit. Yoshi's Woolly World is calm and simple, a bit empty though. Not good for Smash. And Melee's remix for Yoshi's Story is awfully casual with a slow start and generally calm track. It's nice on its own though. Flat Zone 1 is worse than Flat Zone 2. It's still pretty good though. It sounds cool and otherworldly and it's great for a casual match, but sounds weird and alieny and not quite as upbeat and energizing as the second song version. Death Mountain's new remix is loud and in your face, then it turns quiet and dramatic and slow and boring. It speeds up later, but you have to wait way too long for it. It'd be great for like a long adventure type mission, but that just doesn't exist. The original overworld theme just doesn't translate well. At all. And the Hyrule Castle Outside theme has a slow start, it builds up to be quite dramatic, but it's just too quiet for good gameplay. Again, slow to get to the good bit. An obstacle in our path is another original battle theme from Xenoblade Chronicles, but has less of a kick. It's still pretty good though. Time to Fight is fancy and dramatic, but quietens down and becomes quite generic later on. And the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 battle theme is pretty good and energetic, but almost seems a tad dampened down to me. It's okay. The main theme 64 remix of Lylat Wars has nice backing drama and drums, but doesn't kick, it just functions. Area 6 version 2 remix is more electronic and minigamey, but less fitting as a result, and the first version of the Area 6 remix is better, but has a quietened melody and is kinda generic and faded. The Mega Man Retro Medley is gimmicky for Smash and hard to translate well into gameplay. Flash in the Dark, Dr. Wily Stage 1 is nice and retro, but pays the price of also being less fitting for Smash. It's a running theme here. Be great for a menu though. The Mega Man 3 Retro Medley, also doesn't fit too well into Smash, but it sounds nice in places. Punch-Out's Wii title is nice and bouncy, but works better for the menu it was designed for rather than actual gameplay. The Jogging/Countdown remix is good for casual play, but the melody is a tad faded for the backing drums. And the World Circuit theme is zappy and much more in your face, but again, slightly faded. It's still quite good. There's just only 5 Punch-Out tracks to even talk about. The Battles Begin is worse than Fight On. It's still pretty good, sure, but it's less energizing for the fight. It's more fitting for a marathon kind of battle. There's only 2 tracks to compete against each other anyway here. Who put On the Hunt Gloomy instrumental into Smash? It is the most unfitting, slow and boring track they could have chosen from the last 32 years of Mario songs. The original ground theme just doesn't fit into Smash, it's way too situational. And Mushroom Kingdom 1 Hurry Up similarly doesn't fit, even if it is faster. The Lightning Chariot bass remix is slow. Dramatic, sure, but quiet. It's better for a menu or for photo taking. Yeah. The Destroyed Skyworld remix has some interesting vocals, reminds me of Nier Automata, but it's quite slow. It fits a credit sequence better. And Hades' Infernal theme has a slow build-up into a choiry orchestral evil tune, with good tension and nice violins, but it's mostly just a reveal theme. It fits only a niche type of battle. So Fire Emblem, and Fight 1 from Gaiden. It's pretty bland sounding. Dramatic, yeah, but has some odd wind instrument choices. Eternal Bond is a slow orchestral character theme. It's Ike's. It's also boring in Smash. Finally, Conquest Ablaze. Sounds toned down and a bit slow. Has an interesting melody, but it's just kinda iffy. Wario's Gamer-Mum theme is very gimmicky for its stage and only appears in bursts with its intense, short choir, but on its own, just listening to it in the soundtrack, it just doesn't do well. Ashley's song in Japanese is energetic and has a weird vocal style on Ashley that's a tad jarring for Smash. Ashley's Japanese song version 2 has a dramatic orchestral toy start, but the vocals are hard to hear. But the swinging pace is interesting. Okay, I don't like Street Fighter music in Smash. It's kinda all gimmicky and jarring. Sega's stage-type B-tune has nice trumpets up front, but the beaty bits are faded and just sounds more confusing than anything else. The Type A version still seems odd, but slightly less confusing. It has a boring backing track and just sounds like a throwaway tune you'd hear in a TV in a video game in the background of some alleyway you can just walk through. Does that make sense? And Blanca's stage Type A theme is slow and standard sounding. Shame, it was my favorite when I was 5. A bad track for a bad stage, the Great Cave Offensive is orchestral but muffled down. Bubbly Clouds is a happy and fun old-timey track. It's a bit slow and slightly screechy and quite jarring behind Smash Brothers. Float Island is similarly old-timey and slow but happy and adventurous. Doesn't mean it adapts well though. So Bayonetta, the Legend of Aesir is a classic orchestral drama theme, but is more like the background music for a cutscene. There's great building vocals, but it's all a bit slow. Time for the Climax has an interesting startup motif and sounds like a party, but it is kinda bland and generic with Bayonetta's soundboard. Friendship is dramatic and serious and the piano is quite nice. That's the only notes I've got on it. It's good, just not as good as the 8 tracks ahead of it. Simon Belmont's new remix theme has a dramatic start with nice retro sounds, but never really punches. Dwelling of Doom is the original track. It sounds good and fun, but still it's just jarring. And Rip's Silence has a heavy organ and string, but stays quite mediocre. The Versus Meta Ridley theme is a less intense Ridley battle theme, and the build-up is all faded away. Multiplayer has a faded start, with multiple more elements faded away. It's a great song, but this rendition is just kinda struggling. Melody's good though. The Lockdown battle theme is intense for bosses, but it's just the same chainy sound in the background. It's got less melody and more fight. It's not good for actual Smash matches. Scrap Brain Zone's original theme is mystical, Genesis sounding and unfitting for Smash. Green Hill Zone is classic retro, scene setting, and unfitting for Smash. Seven Rings in Hand has strange vocals, seems awfully gimmicky, and doesn't really stand out as a track. The Battle Dialga or Palkia theme never stands out. It's very formulaic. Route 23 from Black and White 2 is okay. Again, never standing out too much. It just gets quiet and doesn't fit Smash. And the Pokemon Gym and Evolution Red and Blue remix is modern, has a nice trumpet and is slow because it's a Victorious theme. It's just not Smashy. F-Zero's Death Wind has an interesting build-up in speed, but doesn't move forward much beyond that point. The Car Select theme from F-Zero X is grungy, metallic, and sounds evil. Not sure if it fits too well though. The original Fire theme sounds great, but is even more greatly overshadowed by the remix. And as a bonus, the F-Zero medley sounds like a generic 90s cartoon opening. Final stop, Metal Gear. The cavern theme is mystical. The main theme of Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker sounds like a Metroid theme, but it's mostly just orchestral backing in the song. There's not much else to it. And the theme of Solid Snake New Remix has some new sounds to Smash, but doesn't stick out too crazily or anything. And that was the worst of every represented track in Smash Ultimate. Just because they're bad in Smash doesn't necessarily mean that they are bad tracks. A good amount of them I actually really like a lot. But what are your thoughts? If you like this video, then consider subscribing and don't miss my next video on Friday. With the reveal of Joker and the announcement of all DLC being big surprises, I'm gonna make a follow-up DLC predictions video with what could be the most unexpected characters. But that's for another time. Thank you to my Patreons, here are my links. My name's been Daz, I hope that wasn't too fast for you. You didn't really care, and I'll see you in a bit.